Mais pas ça, in, ok? Bon, je sais pas comment.
It's gonna be on how to make it in photography. It's gonna be called "There's No Honor Among Thieves." That ball me out. I'm not joking. Ball me out because I vlog while driving.
Oui, hello?
Mom?
Yes?
Don't tell me we woke you up.
No, but you almost did.
Because I feel like I'm making it worse because I'm saying, because I'm bringing myself there, and I'm tall, so they don't believe it.
Too low.
So I'm just gonna.
Doesn't matter. I think she has your ID. Look up in the screen. Get to make sure it's on.
On fait la 2.7. On fait la 3. Voilà. Ok.
Salut. There they go. I'm jealous, guys. Next time. Hey YouTubers. So, as you see from the title of this video, it's called How to Make It in Photography. And I want to talk about an attitude adjustment that most people have to have when they do photography. And I think it'd be very important. And it all stems from a story that happened to me recently. And again, part of this title is There is No Honor Among Thieves. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I've been doing a lot of gigs lately, a lot of projects, a lot of contracts, and a lot of those contracts are getting a lot bigger. So what happens is I have no choice but to actually hire someone to do that contract with me. So I hire an assistant. So I look in the yellow pages, look for someone to do the contract with me. So what do I find? I find people who are into video production houses. I phone a couple people and I get someone to subcontract the job with me. They work as an assistant. By the way, I pay well. I always pay these people very well. For a half day, $350, $400. And so the guy comes on the shift with me and we do the gig. And I gotta tell you, the video production guy I got, he was excellent. Look, is it beautiful? Wow. Look at that. Look at the sky, guys. It's beautiful. This is winter like we like it. So with most of my assistants, I don't only hire an assistant that what a lot of people like to call a gaffer. I hire someone who can actually film as well. Therefore, I looked in the yellow pages and found a couple of places where there was a guy from a video production house. He comes down and he says, I tell him, I said, listen, I need an assistant because my knee's been hurting these days. Can you be my assistant, carry my equipment, set me up, and then after that, shoot B-roll while I'm doing the interviews, because it was really an interview video. He said yes, and it went spectacularly well, super well. So I hired him on another couple of contracts. And what happens is, because of the knee and the way my knee is going these days, I need to use him on several contracts. So I used him on several contracts and they went pretty well. But now I have one contract coming up, and here's where the theme of this whole video is about. I have one contract coming up where I have to go and film, have him as an assistant, leave for another contract, and leave him at the contract I was filming. Now, he's trustworthy and he does a great job, and when I look at the footage, it's always great. But my big fear, this is a fear that instilled in me, was the fact that he will develop a contact with the client. When he does develop that contact with the client might one day get along with him and eventually phone him directly to get the job done. Therefore, my assistant becomes a supplier of the client I was taking care of before. And as good as that sounds for him, well, it destroys all the business that I've been working to get. Now, that's where the whole idea of there is no honor among thieves comes. Because I believe that if that temptation comes and the client comes up to him and says, why don't we deal directly with you instead of going with Jacques Gaines to do the video production, he might just say yes. And I can't blame him for saying yes. I really can't. I can't blame him. Now, as much as that might sound weird, that I can't blame a guy for going and stabbing me in the back, I think what I'm trying to get at is that it's a tough gig. It's rough out there. It really is not an easy thing to get jobs. So when you're given the opportunity and the client tells you, well, I'd rather work with you, you say yes. You say yes. I personally, in my moral background, will not do something like that. But I understand how someone would. Therefore, my fear is that one day I will lose that contract to someone else for whatever reason, lower price or whatever. And here's where making it in photography and video production comes into play. The real way that I think that most people can actually make it in video, you will never make it if you say, I am going to cut my price. I am going to make myself a nice guy when I film. I am going to give the client a good product and deliver on time. Those things will just make it so that your business actually survives and that it doesn't go bankrupt. But if you want to make it so that you, as a videographer, have something where people say, I have to work with Jacques Gaines, there's no doubt about it. The only way you can do that is to differentiate. Create your own style. Now, all the things like marketing, pushing your product, getting yourself on Instagram, having a great portfolio, I can't deny that those things will help you out. But to actually develop a business where you can charge top dollar, you have to come up with something different. Nobody will buy good delivery. No one's gonna buy video that stands up to itself. They have to buy your style. The most important thing is to come up with something, a video style that's your own. You have to do that. Okay, you'll pay the bills. You're gonna have enough money for rent, pay your office space. You're gonna get a lot of contracts. But the difference between that and having something that's ridiculously different and people have to choose you for, the only way you can do that is to have your own style, your own way of thinking, your own little look to your videos. You have to be different. You have to come up with something that's not the same. So what am I doing to do that? Well, I'm trying my best. I have a style that's very full of emotion when I do my interviews. I always go to get the emotion of the people that are working with me, no matter what I'm doing. Even if I do a video on a company that makes steel girders, I try to go and get the emotion. I try to get the president of the company saying, you know what? Every day I wake up and come in here, I love every second of it. That's what I sell my videos on. I also have a great Instagram. I also work on having a photography portfolio that's just as good, and I offer photography as a service. But again, offering photography as a service is not a differentiation, it's just an added service. But that emotional content that I have in my portfolio really does sell what I do. Let's say you're someone who really likes to get into gothic stuff. You should Launch yourself into Gothic video. That passion's gonna come out in the video, and if somebody needs a Gothic look, they will phone you and no one else. Why does that refer to the story I just told you before? Well, no matter what happens, how well I'm nice to the client, how polite I am, and how much I deliver, I'm gonna get those contracts stolen for me, because around the corner is another guy who's polite, nice, delivers on time, and gives a nice, clean product. But a person that gives you that emotional look to your video, the only person that can do that is Jacques Gaines, man. Nobody else. So, again, you guys, differentiate or die. Like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget, everybody, there is no honor among thieves, and you gotta keep on making something from nothing.